So this is episode 2 of my editing series. It is March 30th. Actually, no. Well, yes. It's March 29th, Tuesday, because I haven't gone to sleep and woke back up yet. But it is now officially Wednesday, March 30th. And I am filming this at 12:30 in the morning. So, yeah, there's that. Said I would not be back until I had finished the reread. So, I finished the reread, and it did get better as I got deeper into the story. Probably, I guess, back then I think I was writing in spurts, so maybe my writing got better as I wrote the manuscript. So, I will say the last 2 chapters, I may just keep those last 2 chapters because I feel like they are really special and magical, and I like them a lot. Matter of fact, let me just it's a little glimpse. This is the first paragraph of chapter 27. It says, as I looked in the mirror, sitting at this beautiful vanity in the back room of this beautiful church, in my fairy tale wedding dress, I realized that the mirror is very telling. No matter what lies you may tell yourself to get by, you can always count on the mirror to tell you the truth. My face smiled with phony excitement, but my eyes were indeed sad. I was getting ready to walk down the aisle in my dream wedding that I had imagined since I was little. The only problem was that I was walking down that aisle to a man that I was only settling for. A man that I did in fact love, but I think only because he could make me feel safe. And I was about 98% sure that he would never do anything to hurt me. I wanted to be in love with Cal, but I couldn't. I couldn't just forget that Bryant was still in my heart. Nevertheless, I still intend on marrying Cal, because I could never be... Okay, that's going a little too far into the story. But yeah, I like, there's some bits that obviously need changing because, obviously it's not perfect. But I like the sentiment of, you can tell yourself all the lies you want, but the mirror never lies to you. What's looking back at you, you can't deny the truth when it's staring back in your face. I just love that sentiment. And I was like, wait, how many years ago was this? I wrote that many years ago. I love that. Okay. But, so I'm going to have to keep that. Hopefully it fits into the new outline, the new format. Well, it should, because there's still going to be a almost wedding at the end. You'll have to find out by reading how that ends up. But, well, maybe you'll find out here. Anyway, so with that said, I finished the read through and pulled out my trusty Save the Cat. And we are in the only one that fits is the Buddy Love beats, or the beat sheet for the Buddy Love romance. So this is indeed, I guess, a romance. How can it not be? And there's even a happy ending, believe it or not. So now the big labor of love here, the big work to do comes in figuring out where I am splitting up the POVs, because that's a new thing. And there are 3 people in this story, 3 people in this triangle. Technically, well, no. There's a 4th POV, but he's going to be very, very almost non-existent. But he kind of has to be there because he's the reason she has this complex and is so guarded and hesitant to be with anyone who could possibly give her the idea that they would hurt her. There's also another reason, and oh my gosh, there's so many secrets in this book that I didn't even like. I know you're supposed to put a lot of conflict and secrets in books, but I didn't realize I put that many. I'm like, how many secrets? I kept reading and I was like, wait, she has another secret? And then I read again, I was like, wait, another secret? I was just like, wait, how many secrets does she have? So, I mean, other than secretly being in love with the man you're not engaged to. But anyway, so there is a secret reason to why she feels she can't be with the man she really wants to be with. But she was all set and content to marry this guy who was like perfect on paper, and she loves him, but she's not in love with him. But that doesn't dawn on her until this old love pops back up out of nowhere and just upends her world and throws everything upside down because she has this huge secret that involves him. Actually, two that involve him, but one that, you know, the secret baby. And you know, he's naturally upset. But also, I found in my read through that some of these things, I'm like, they should be a little more upset. There should be some more anger. Why is there not enough anger here? So yeah, that has to be addressed and that has to be changed. Um, or they'll get over something, and I'm like, by the next scene, they're over, and I'm like, wait, no, that's just not real. What? They need a couple of scenes before they can be over it. So yeah, and then there's the secret that he doesn't know about that is keeping her from being with him. And hold up, I'm on a stream. I'm watching a live stream. So there's the secret that, well, how much do I tell you guys? I don't know because I don't know if I'm keeping that, although I think that I have to keep that. This is going to be harder than I thought. Well, I didn't think it was going to be easy to rewrite this, but when I set out to edit and revise this manuscript, I didn't know that I was going to end up scrapping most of what I have, making it multiple POVs, which it was not. Just completely turning it around into something that it was not before. But I think it'll be for the better. It just wasn't what I intended when I set out to revise this manuscript. So, yeah. I'm in for a heck of a ride. So that is where I am after my read through. Getting ready to start the process for camp of re-outlining. I don't really know how this is going to go, but we're going to cross our fingers and hope that it really goes well. Never taken a book from a non-multiple POV to a multiple POV, so not really sure how this is going to go. However, I did realize when I went through Save the Cat that I needed a B story. Because in the Buddy Love beat sheet, there's an A story and a B story. And I have the A story, which is the love triangle, I guess. But then there's the B story, which I didn't actually have. But I have one now. And it's a really good one. I was like, that's interesting. So I had to change some things around for that B story to work also, that weren't in the initial, not even in the character sketches. I had to change some things around about the characters. I had to change some ages around because I didn't realize, it was so idiotic of me to not even realize that I had made a couple of these characters different ages, but they were in high school together. They were high school sweethearts, or they had a thing in high school. So how could there be this? I mean, the age difference would have been, one would have been out of high school and the other one would still been in high school, and that just wasn't going to work. And I don't know why I did that, but I fixed it, or I'm going to fix it when I do the character sketches over again. I have to do a deeper dive into the three main characters their background. Um, yeah, well, her background is pretty clear, but the other two POVs, they dive a little deeper into their background because, well, they weren't really prominent before. I mean, they were, but they weren't going to have their own POV. So it didn't really, it mattered, but it didn't matter. It's not like she, pointed out their background story or anything, just randomly. So it wasn't going to really matter. So now it matters. And I have the backstory. I've created backstory for them. It's just, I'm lighter on backstory when the characters are not the main characters or not the prominent focus. And yeah, they were her love interest, but she was the main character, and I don't know. And we're all just gonna figure this out together, aren't we? But yeah, I'll be back to update some more. Maybe tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I'll be back. Hello. It is, what day is this? It is, okay, well, technically, by the clock standards, it is March 31st. I'm still technically on Wednesday the 30th because I have not gone to bed. I have dozed off and went to sleep a few times, but that is because I hosted my first live stream on Wednesday the 30th, so I'm tired, but I come to you as part of episode 2 of the editing series, in my pajamas no less. I'm working on trying to start the re-outlining process, and I'm kind of struggling a bit because, well, I'm using Save the Cat so far to try to work out some of the beats before I get started with the actual re-outlining. I don't necessarily need the structures. Well, it's helpful until it's not. But because Save the Cat gives a good beat sheet for like a romance, but it's mostly for like the single POV. And I'm doing multiple POVs, and I could go back to the single POV, but I really am excited about the multiple POVs. So with that angle, so I'm trying to figure out, do you use the beat sheet? Like, do you use it for each POV? Or do I just fit each character into the beat sheets and give them their own, like, opening image, their own theme stated, setup, catalyst, or do I just kind of weave them into the overall beat sheet? So, I was on Kate Kavanaugh's live stream earlier on Twitch when we were chatting in the chat about it, and she suggested getting Romancing the Beats. So, hold on 1 second. 1 second. This is what most people who write romance suggest for using as a way of outlining and using beat sheets. And I have ordered it already. It'll be a Friday. So yeah, I've ordered that, and hopefully that will kind of better help me navigate the beats. But while I'm waiting, I thought I would at least try to get the main character started. So so far I've worked on the opening image, in which I talk about her contemplating the decisions she's made in the past. I just kind of wrote down each part of Act 1, and then I wrote down each part of Act 2, each part of Act 3, and I'm just going to kind of write a couple of points that address each beat, and then I'll flesh them out further after that, but I just kind of want to get a general idea of where I'm going, and changing some things So it's not necessarily going to be the same story points that would have been in the old outline. So I got up to the opening image, the theme stated, the setup, and the catalyst, and I am getting ready to go to bed for the night. So I am not going to get to the debate, but because I am tired and I'm trying not to fall asleep at my desk, but I'm tired. So I'll be back for an update probably tomorrow at some point. Okay, so it's been a few days since I've updated you guys on where I am as far as my re-outlining is going. The answer to that question is I'm not very far. I did get this little thing, Romancing the Beats. We're not going to talk about the fact that it's $10.99 for a book that's not even 100 pages, but so far the information is very helpful, very useful. I'm not all the way through it yet, but it's not triggering, it's bringing some other thoughts to mind as far as the story and things that I want to change, things that I have to think about when in terms of how I'm doing the POVs. It made me realize that because there was only a single POV before, I didn't develop the other two gentlemen in this love triangle too much further than the basic development. They were her love interests, and they didn't really have, even though one was more prominent than one was should have been more prominent than the other, but the other one was actually more prominent because he's the one she ends up with. But either way, I didn't develop either one of them um, to the level that they would need to be developed if they were going to be a primary focus, or you know, secondary, primary, whatever. You get the point. So, and I think I mentioned earlier, either in episode 1 or earlier in this video, that I'm realizing I didn't really develop Autumn enough either. Not to my liking. Again, when I first wrote this manuscript, I did, character sketches and things like that, but I didn't do as deep a dive as I do now, or as detailed as I do now. Now I'm fully detailed in my outlines, but this outline was not as fully detailed because I wasn't doing that much detail back then. So I also need to develop her a little bit, just a little bit more. I think she needs a little more depth to her. There's some things that I need to hone in about her that I wasn't thinking about until I read some things in here. Kind of like a B story. And actually, no, I was reading some things I saved the cat. That made me realize I didn't have a B story for her. Like a secondary subplot, whatever, like the secret she's carrying and the romance that's there can't be the only things. There has to be another factor to it. So one of the other things is in her, the big thing about Autumn that I have discovered is she has been so hurt by events in the past, not just the father of her child walking out on her and her son and leaving them with no word, no goodbye, no nothing. Not just that, which, it's hurtful enough. But there's some other things she's carrying. She didn't grow up with a mother. Her mother died when she was 5. She grew up with a single father, but she's still missing that maternal component. And not that her father didn't love her. Her father and her are very close. Even though that could change given another secret that gets revealed later on. But because of just a whirlwind of events and things that made her close herself off and guard herself, I think like the father of her child leaving her was kind of like the last thing that it's like, okay, I'm done. I just want someone good on paper. I just want things to be safe, practical, nothing that's that could possibly, how do I put this? Okay, so she has a passion for art. She is a painter, oil painting specifically, but she likes to draw. But her father always kind of preached to her, because her father's a doctor, her brother's a lawyer, preached to her, the practicality of the choice that you make in your career. Be practical, something that's going to sustain you, something that's, guaranteed safe. And, you know, given all the other things that led her to be so guarded, she kind of went the safe route in choosing her career. So a B story is going to be, she's a paralegal. She didn't go as far as becoming a lawyer. She was too squeamish to become a doctor. So she went in the legal field. So it's safe enough, guaranteed enough. But she has this longing and desire for art. Now, Bryant, who is the one who comes back into her life, who, spoiler alert, she ultimately will end up with. But can't tell you how it's going to get there. Well, maybe. I don't know. I haven't wrote the ending again. Could be a whole nother love interest that pops up. I really don't know. But he's an architect, so when he comes back to town, it kind of they bonded when they first had their thing. They bonded over their shared love of art, drawing, building structures, for him, and that shared um, component that they had. So when he comes back into that town, it kind of reignites her love for art. It stirs up that passion again and other things. So that is what I think is going to be my B story. But of course, the top story is all the secrets she's holding and the fact that she's about to marry a man who's safe on paper. He is good to her. He loves her. He loves her more than she loves him. Definitely loves her way more than she loves him. But he's safe. And he's good to her son. He kind of took on the role of being her son's father when there wasn't one. He's been married before, so I suppose she doesn't have to worry about being, his first wife and disappointing him in that way. And so everything's fine. She knows her path, what's going to happen. She's marrying this wonderful, romantic, loving man, safe on paper, but there's no fire she has for him. But there's plenty of fire for Bryant. So, but I need to develop Bryant and Cal a bit more. They need a secondary story. They can't have Wanting Autumn as their only thing. So I have to figure out what's their underlying story, the depth to them. So that is a task that I am trying to figure out right now, and I'm not doing a very good job of it. But that said, that is where I'm at right now on day 5 of Camp Now. Well, technically, day 5 of Camp Now is just starting because it's 1 o'clock in the morning right now. But April 5th, that's where I'm at right now. I will be back. So, hopefully with a better update. I have written out all of the things that need to happen in the story. The things that I want to keep from the original read through. I may just change how they shift into place. If that makes sense. But I'll be back for the next update. Bye. So that's going to conclude episode 2 of my editing series. I haven't gotten as far in revising my manuscript as I would have liked. However, I'm making progress. I kind of know where I want the POVs to be split up at. I kind of know which ones how I want to disperse that might be the wrong word. Some of the POVs aren't going to be as prominent as, the main two focal points, but there will be more than two, but the other two won't be. They'll just pop up intermittently throughout the novel. This little book proved to be really useful and worth the purchase. It made me see some things that I didn't even think of before. Helped me figure out some missing plot holes in terms of the other POVs, which, to be fair, they weren't prominent. They weren't POVs before, so I didn't develop them far enough because they weren't the main characters. But now, since they will be somewhat the main characters, you guys get what I'm trying to say, I hope. But so episode 2, stage 2, I'm in the outlining process. I've just written a little bit on chapter 1. I think chapter 2 is going to be a POV switch, and I'm making sure I make notes on the main plot points that need to get told throughout the story so that I don't miss those, the ones that are going to carry over from the original book. Now, of course, a lot of that is going to get scrapped, but some of it will carry over. Some of the main secrets will carry over, but hopefully in episode 3, I will be further along in the outline process, maybe even starting the rewrite. But I think I'm probably still going to be in the outlining process. I probably won't start the rewrite until maybe episode 4. I don't know yet. But that is going to be it for this video. If you like what you see and you want to see more videos from me, make sure that you hit the like and subscribe button. And let me know in the comments if you've ever had to completely scrap a novel or manuscript you've written and just kind of start all over again. And how did that go for you? How long did the process take? Did you re-outline if you're an outliner? Or if you're a pantser, how did you just jump back in to the same novel but with a different angle? Because I'm assuming if you had to rewrite the whole thing, you were writing it from a different angle than you wrote it before. So let me know how that process went for you. How long it took. Was it as nerve-wracking as it's appearing to be for me? But as usual, if you would like to support me in any of my creative endeavors, such as my blog site, my online magazine, my online store, or my Ko-fi page, all those links can be found in the description box below. Until next time, have a blessed day. Bye.